Thank you, Graham. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of ALTE, a warm welcome. It's a great pleasure for me to formally open this forum organized in collaboration by two special interest groups, LAMI and Social Justice Discussion Group. Let me check the slides. Hello? How they work?
Yep.
The green. Okay. 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 The topic of the forum works around the acronym JEDI, so Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and its implication for language learning, teaching, and assessment. The topic and the presentations of the forum address various aspects related to one or more angles of the acronym. This includes Jennifer Randall plenary on the significance of a justice-oriented definition of validity, followed by a presentation on 4 LAMI projects taking into account different perspectives of JEDI. These perspectives reflect actions embedded within the current LAMI action plan that is approaching its closing this year, with the expected conclusion of 7 integrated work packages. After the coffee break, thanks to Diego, Paula, and Paola, we will explore fair assessment practices for learners with limited literacy skills. Then, the importance of valuing migrants' plurilingual identities will be central in the presentation from Mariana, while the effects of non-heteronormative representation in test material will be the focus of the contribution from Emi, Carla, and Sayuri. Last but not least, EDIT, with a large-scale study investigating the consequences of language and knowledge of society course requirements for low-literate adult migrants. The closing remarks from Cecily will briefly bring together the many, we hope, inspiring reflections from the presentations, which we hope have given food for thoughts for the lunch break and hopefully for the next days. Before giving the floor to our speakers, we would like to insist a bit more on why the combination, and I would say also the synergy, LAMI Social Justice, it's important for us. Taking into account a complementary perspective that, in our view, can serve to reciprocally sustain and complementary sustain the work of the two groups. What about Social Justice Discussion Group, Cecily?
Thank you, Lorenzo. Yeah, did you have the clicker? Okay. Yeah, so I am co-chairing LAMI with Lorenzo, and I am the chair of the Social Justice Discussion Group, which some of you might have attended at other ALTE meetings. And I will say just a few words about the Social Justice Discussion Group. As we know, language tests are powerful tools. I think that's kicking in open doors to state that in this audience. We know that tests have a great impact on societies, on learning, on teaching, and on individuals. And this is perhaps never so important that it is when we talk about refugees and forced migrants. Language tests are used as policy tools. We know that in the integration and migration context. And as whether we like it or not, as professional language test developers, we are in this midst of policy making. So it is important that we as professionals, as individual test developers, have a high level of awareness about social justice issues. So the aim of the Social Justice Discussion Group is to present a platform for discussion about ethics, justice, and topics related to the use and misuse and consequences of tests for test takers.
Sure. That's nice. While, as reported in the ALTE website, LAMI was formed in 2002 in Salamanca, And it's a group that has been engaged, has been central to the discussion ALTE has been engaged in to consider the growing prominence of testing in language migration policy. It implies an ongoing need, to monitor this policy and to formulate related recommendations targeted in particular, but not only to decision makers. Such need, on the one hand, led to this joint publication you can see in the slide. It's the last report published in 2020 and related to 2018. On the other hand, it gives me the opportunity to close this introduction with a sort of preview of the main LAMI commitment beyond, of course, the completing of its action plan. I'm referring to the new Council of Europe and ALTE survey on language policies for migrants in member states. So requirements, but also learning opportunities. And let me thank the Council in the person of Sarah Breslin, Head of Language Policy, and also Arzu Tuner, Program Manager, for having shared all the steps behind the approval of this project. A project we strongly claimed, I think, for 5 main good reasons, reflecting as many needs. They need to consider the current scenario, where many member states policies have changed since the last report 8 years ago. The need for decision makers, but also for us as language testers to have access to updated, reliable data to enable to identify trends. And then they need to better investigate specific controversial aspects like the knowledge of society, and to make references to existing Council of Europe resources and ALTE and Council reference documents, just like the one listed here. JEDI underpins the references listed here, and within our acronym, justice in particular is central for our keynote speaker. Cecily, to you to introduce Jennifer.
Yeah, did very quickly. So every professional field occasionally sees a scholar whose work mark a clear before and after. Someone whose contribution not only extends existing knowledge, but reorients the professional focus and open new avenues for research. The invited plenary speaker for the LAMI Social Justice Forum is one of those transformative scholars. Through her research at the University of Michigan and the Center for Measurement Justice, Professor Jennifer Randall aims to reshape assessment from construct definition to scoring procedures and score interpretation and use, placing social justice and non-discrimination at the heart of our work. It's a pleasure and a great honor for us to welcome Professor Jennifer Randall to the ALTE conference and our forum, and we very much look forward to your speech. So the floor is yours. The title you saw already. Some call it validity, I call it violence.